The way that I broke into sales, I have a sore throat, so you have to mind my voice, was that I basically wrote on my cover letter, try selling high school dropouts math. I don't think there's anything harder than that. And the way I was actually able to sell high school dropouts on math was aligning it to their goals, and there's neuroscience behind this. So if you're having a hard time achieving your goals or getting yourself to do boring things that you know you need to be doing, this is how you do it without like tricking yourself or belittling yourself or trying to like pretend it's not boring. So what I would do with the high school dropouts that I worked with, like the GED, I was used to be a GED instructor, is I would ask them, like I would just get to know them, figure out like what they cared about, because people just naturally talk about what they care about. And if, for example, this one girl, she always had her makeup like fully done and was always talking about like this new blush she found or new whatever. And she needed help with fractions and percentages to pass her math GED portion. And I asked her, if you do you go to Sephora? She said, yeah, of course I go to Sephora. And I said, when there's a sale happening in the store, do you know how much money is discounted from something when it's like 20% off? And she was like, no. And I was like, well, what if you did? And she was like, that'd be great. And so I handed her worksheets on fractions and percentages, and she couldn't be bothered. And the science behind this is that we have something in our brain called the salience network, and it determines what's worth paying attention to. And what we pay attention to could be something that we fear. It could be something new. It can be something rewarding, something that is like socially pertinent. There's different categories of what we pay attention to. But in the context of work or school or like a teacher or a coach or whatever, or parent, is if you can align, or even just with yourself, like you and you, if you can align what you need to do as the vehicle to getting you what you want in life, you're way more likely to do it. You're not going to have to convince yourself to do it. Why? Because the salience network decides what's worth paying attention to. And it'll pay attention to things that it thinks is rewarding. And it will generate dopamine in the brain to get you to go do those things. You don't do things because you like doing them. You do things because they are rewarding to do. And so doing things that are just intrinsically rewarding is the highest lever that you have to get yourself to do boring shit. And so if you have big, lofty financial goals, budgeting doesn't seem as boring if you know that budgeting is going to be the thing that gets you there. If you have big, lofty educational goals and you know you got to take a class you don't want, but you're like, yeah, I know I'm going to get this degree at the end, you're more likely to enjoy and care about the class. If you can tie all the boring things that you know you need to do to the things that you want to do, it helps generate dopamine in the brain, and it becomes a lot less boring, and you know how to white knuckle your way through it, like once you're able to connect the two.